over the past few years. As the Open champion, is that something you think you're going to be even more conscious of going forward?
I'm not sure how it'll play out. I've enjoyed my time traveling. I enjoy it when my family comes. That's a big thing for me, because playing more global golf is an opportunity to really expose myself and my family to the rest of the world and other new cultures and experiences. So when they're able to travel, I anticipate playing more throughout the world. Unfortunately, they're not here this week, and they really enjoyed coming here in 2011. We loved our time here, and I wish that they were here. And so if I can get them to travel a little bit more, I anticipate playing more worldwide.
Just a follow-up, David?
Just a quick follow-up. Is that going to be because you want to cut down on your schedule and concentrate US Open and probably even more so on the majors going forward? Is that balancing act going to become ever more difficult?
I think for me what will happen is that, like last year, it was towards the end of the year when I was playing 9 out of 11 weeks, that my performance started to tail off, and I need to be aware of that. I don't anticipate many changes the first 6-7 months of the year where I'm getting ready for the majors. I've developed a way to bring my best golf out in those championships, but I do need to be mindful of the fact that my performance started to tail off when I got tired towards the end, and I have to make some adjustments.
Yes, Joy, the centre.
I feel any changes that we need to be aware of in your game or during the practice or in your equipment starting the new season?
There's one thing that makes me very excited about 2014, and as I look back on 2013, I played some of my best golf and had some huge breakthroughs, but I did most of it without a driver. And this year we have the best driver I've ever hit that lowers my spin rate just like my 3-wood. And I drive it longer and straighter with my driver than I did with my 3-wood. It's a whole different weapon in my arsenal now. And if I drive the ball well, like I have been in practice and I have been this off season, heading into this 2014 season could be the best year of my career for that simple reason.
Yes, Phil, on the left, please.
Phil, you mentioned that you've worked out how to best prepare for majors. What are the plans for this season? Do you know yet what your schedule is leading up to each one?
I pretty much do. I like to play weeks before the tournament. And so I'll anticipate doing the same thing this year, playing the Scottish Open before the British Open, playing the World Golf Championship in Accra the week before the PGA. I will play 2 weeks probably before the US Open. I'll play the Memorial and the Memphis tournament as I head into Pinehurst. And then I'll play the Houston Open before the Masters, just like I have been. And I feel that for me personally, it's not for everybody, but that's what allows me to get more in a competitive frame of mind heading into the major championships and to bring out my best golf.
Yes, Martin, please.
Phil, you referred earlier to your back nine at Muirfield. Can you just recall just how special that was, and have you had a chance since then to watch it on video? I was going to say DVD.
Yeah, I've watched some of the highlights of that last round, and it's a tournament that I'll cherish forever. That experience I'll cherish forever. I hit some of my best shots, some of my best putts on that back nine, and it's absolutely, I looked at the highlights. It's the tournaments that I end up losing that I don't watch.
Is there a shot in particular that makes it really special?
The shot I like to look at was the 5-iron shot I hit on 13. It was one of the best shots I hit all day. All week. That green is so tight. You saw players missing the green huge margins because the wind was so strong straight into you that any mishit will lead to a huge shot offline. And that ball just flew so tight to the pin and ended up 10 feet from the hole, and I made that putt, and that's when I really felt the momentum change, and that felt like it was my tournament if I wanted it.
Any more for Phil? Yeah, Steve down the front. Just wait for the microphone, Steve, please. Thank you.
I know it's probably hard for you to explain this without getting really technical and talking about center of gravity and everything, but you mentioned that you played with sort of a 2-wood, 3-wood for a lot of the year. What's so different about this new one that's got you so excited?
Well, for the same reason that the 3-wood last year became the best club in my bag, we took that technology with the driver and did the same thing. I spin the ball more than anybody, and so what happens is they end up giving me a driver with 6.5, 7 degrees aloft to knock that spin off. And now what we did instead was I've got a driver with 9.5, 10 degrees aloft that they have this gravity core that lowers the center of gravity and knocks off the spin. And so I'm able to make the same swing as my 3-wood, the same swing as my irons, and get the ball to go nicely off the tee. Whereas I was always having to have a different swing with my driver to accommodate the fact that I had no loft. And that's why I've struggled with the driver off the tee. It's because I have so much hand action and put so much spin on the ball. This year, the equipment now, it can be adjusted to accommodate my golf swing, and I couldn't be more excited about this year.
Yes. Jock, I think, do you have a question?
Yes,
Phil,
have you any information on Royal Aberdeen, which is the venue for the Scottish Open this year? It's a bit different from Castle Stewart, but have you heard anything about it?
Everything I've heard about has been positive, is that it's one of the greatest links golf experiences you could have, and that it's a very challenging, demanding test of golf, and that it's a great place to play prior to a British Open championship. And so everything that I've heard has been positive. I know that it's about 50 miles away from Castle Stewart, and I'll probably try to go play around there at Castle Stewart. Castle Stewart, to me, is one of the best modern-day golf course designs I've ever seen, in that course is playable under any conditions. The wind can come at any different angle, at any strength, and the golf course is playable. And I think that was a very well thought out course, and I like spending time there.
John, on the far right, please.
Phil, the change in the driver, does this result in you being able to hit the ball longer and straighter?
That's it. That's exactly it. By getting the spin off the ball, I hit it much straighter because I don't have to manipulate the club. I just swing it.
And how much longer?
Well, I base it off of the 3-wood. You know, the 3-wood goes a long ways for me, and I'm able to get my driver 25 yards past my 3-wood now. Whereas before, my driver had so much spin that it would only go about 8 or 10 yards past it.
Steve, please.
Just wondered from your view, inside the ropes, the data would suggest, based on world rankings and the top players that are here, that they're doing something right at this tournament. What do you see that accounts for that puts this thing so high up on the pecking order?
Well, HSBC it really has done a great job in getting world-class golf here to Abu Dhabi, and it starts with a great golf course. They really have a terrific test of golf here in immaculate shape with great practice facilities, and it's at a perfect time of year starting the year. We're here with great weather on a course that can really identify your strengths and weaknesses, and it just is a great place for all of us to get started.
Yes, David?
Yeah, Phil, you said this could be the best year of your career, and you're excited about it. To achieve that, when you look back, would it have to be the win at Pioneers to feel that way, or would you take a second Open and think it could still have panned out the way you wanted it to?
I think any major championship would make the year special and memorable, and I do believe that I'll win a U.S. Open. I don't know if it's at Pioneers this year, very well could be, or in the future. But I play well in that tournament too often to not believe or be confident in my ability to close that tournament out. But any major championship would make 2014 a remarkable year.
Rory said he wants to. If you have one, it doesn't leave much for the rest, does it?
Well, want and get are two different things.
You have time for a couple more. Joy, please.
Phil, you said that playing global golf or golf globally made you, a better player, and you started playing globally a little late in your career. Before you were not that, focused on playing outside the States. But having experienced what you have experienced, what kind of, advice do you give to youngsters like Jordan Spieth or Keegan Bradley to come out from the States and play all around the globe?
Well, I really feel, as I say to them, is that golf's an individual sport, and you need to find out what works best for you as an individual. What works well for me may not be best for somebody else. And so it's all our job as players to find out what works best for us. But for me personally, it was very difficult to travel with 3 little ones internationally. It was almost impossible, and that's why I didn't play much global golf. But as they got older, the opportunity to play golf in other countries and my kids to see other cultures and different parts of the world was a great opportunity, and traveling with them was quite easy. As we get older, though, they have so much going on after school and during school that it's hard to get them out of school to come here other than the summers. And so those are the challenges that we're having as family to play golf worldwide.
Jamie?
Phil, after what Rory went through last year, what do you expect from him this year?
I think he's going to have a great year. I really do. I think that he's too talented to have another year like last year. And you saw glimpses of his game being sharp with his win in Australia last year in December, and I think he's going to have a great year.
Would that almost be a good thing, what he went through last year in terms of learning experience?
I don't know, but we all have highs and lows. We all have good years. We have years that aren't up to our expectations, and usually that makes us more determined, which is what I see out of him.
Time for a couple more. Martin, please.
Phil, where does being part of a winning Ryder Cup team at Gleneagles rank among your 2014 goals?
That would really be special. It would be a great opportunity. I thought we had this last one, and we let it slide, a 4-point lead we let get away, and so I think that if we were able to come out on top that week, it would be something really good for not just the United States, but also the tournament in general, because we have not been faring well in that event.
And Carl, please, finish us up.
Phil, looking at, Rory said towards the end of the year that the most difficult thing he found in the year was people being so focused on his private life. From your own experience looking at that, is that the hardest thing to adjust to when you gain a certain prominence in the sport, and how do you deal with it?
Well, we all have different ways of dealing with things, and for me personally, I've really just tried to stay away from social media for the reason that I need to get away and have some time on just my family, and there's some things that I don't like letting out. I just like keeping it in private, and it's been great for me to be able to come out on tour and play competitive golf and accept the fact that we're in the public eye there, but also to have an opportunity to get away and have downtime. I had a great off season these last 2 months, spending time with Amy and the kids. We went skiing, we hung out, and had some great vacations, and I need that to get rejuvenated and excited, and I think for me personally, staying out of social media has been a real benefit, but I also understand how powerful and what a great thing it can be for players.
Okay, but one last question. I'll start in the centre, please.
Just a quickie on the Ryder Cup. Any chance that you'll get to Gleneagles the week of the Scottish Open or the Open Championship to play the course, have a look at the course?
I haven't thought about it, I don't know. Probably not likely, because I'm spending so much time getting ready for the Scottish and the British those 2 weeks that I'll be there that I wouldn't anticipate it, but I haven't really thought about it.
Phil, thanks as always for your time. Good luck this week.